Today's podcast is brought to you by AlleyRepair.com. Don't leave your skee ball machines lying around collecting dust in the basement. Let AlleyRepair.com bring those machines back to life. High quality workmanship for your skee ball playing needs. Contact AlleyRepair.com today. Hello everyone and welcome to this episode of the Fro Life Wrestling Podcast. This episode we discuss the latest news coming out of New Japan and Ring of Honor, a bit of the independent scene, and have a recap of the most interesting tidbits from both Raw and SmackDown. Let's start this episode talking about Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega came out on Twitter this week talking about his respect for John Cena. We talked in the last podcast about John Cena tweeting a picture of Kenny Omega, somewhat implying we might get a chance to see Kenny entering the Royal Rumble. Now, upon further review, we found out that the contract that Kenny Omega has with the New Japan Pro Wrestling does not expire until January 31st. So that is contractually not going to happen as far as him entering the Royal Rumble. But it was really nice to see banter going back and forth between Kenny Omega and John Cena. It's a great thing to see competitors at that high a level from rival promotions, or what you would consider to be rival promotions, giving each other a great amount of respect and shout out back and forth. It also leads to a potential high profile match should Kenny Omega ever decide to come to WWE that I think now everybody would like to see. On the same topic of outside prospects in World Wrestling Entertainment, Ring of Honor talent Kyle O'Reilly. As we noted previously, he was made an offer for a new contract at the end of December, chose to turn it down, and instead it looks like there is a good chance he may be headed to NXT. That's something to keep our eyes on. Nothing official, nothing confirmed yet, but Kyle O'Reilly would be a huge get for WWE now that he's a free agent working on a per appearance payout with Ring of Honor. It opens the door for something really special. Adam Cole, also in the news, talking about various things, including his championship reign, what to expect from his championship reign, the responsibility of being Ring of Honor champion. But the interesting part was he made a comment about potentially going to WWE at some point and made it a point to say that he really wants that WrestleMania moment. He said something to the effect of, if he would be lying if he didn't say he wanted to have a WrestleMania moment. So Adam Cole, yes, he just won the Ring of Honor title, first man to do it 3 times, but definitely a talent to keep our eye on as far as WWE signings goes, because when his contract runs out later this year, that could be another huge win for World Wrestling Entertainment. And in the independents, House of Glory, which is a smaller promotion based out of New York, the New York City area, announced a huge match for one of their upcoming events with Alberto El Patron going to be taking on Low Key for the first time ever. It's one of those matches that I'm sure nobody ever fantasy booked in their mind, but one of those ones that once you hear it, you're like, you know what, I would like to see that. The quality and skill set of Low Key, one of the most underappreciated talents from the big promotion perspective, going against a huge star coming out of World Wrestling Entertainment. Should be an entertaining match. The rest of the episode today, I want to really focus on Raw and SmackDown. Coming out of Raw, Shawn Michaels had made his big return, his triumphant return to Raw, promoting the resurrection of Gavin Stone, his movie that releases January 20th, his first major movie production, be released in theaters. That's pretty amazing. The WWE film will actually make it to theaters. It was good to see him come back. It was even better to see him super kick Rusev in the face. It's always good to see that little tidbit of the old HBK that we all would love to see. At the same time, in the back afterwards, when they had the WWE.com exclusive, he made it pretty clear, and also during his interview on Raw, that the appearance at the Royal Rumble is highly unlikely. He made reference of resisting peer pressure, that he heard that chant from everybody, one more match, and as flattering as that is, he's going to try to stay out of the game. Though he did throw in the catchphrase of never say never, that cliche that we've heard so many times. Coming out of Raw, we also had big news with Chris Jericho becoming the 7th Grand Slam champion, winning the United States Championship in his handicap match with Kevin Owens against Roman Reigns. This makes him the 7th man to hold the United States title, the Intercontinental title, the World Tag Team Championship, and the WWE Championship in his career. It's a huge accomplishment, and it's one that's long overdue for someone the caliber of Chris Jericho. Sami Zayn, at WWE.com reported, has been injured and unable to compete. We would suspect that this would be a storyline injury, not something legitimate, but at the same time, it's kind of strange timing, heading into one of your biggest pay-per-views, not having Sami Zayn be a part of the Royal Rumble, unless you have something big for him planned outside the Rumble for some kind of big return. And speaking of returns, Paige, a few weeks ago in Florida, speaking with WWE officials about her return, getting her neck checked on. It is now looking like her return could be set more for the summertime. Doesn't look like she's going to make it back in time for WrestleMania 33, which actually could be a good thing. With her being gone for this long a period of time, it gives her an opportunity to freshen up her character, be out of the people's eye for a little while, and when she comes back, great opportunity to jump into a feud with someone like, say, Charlotte or Sasha Banks, or even somebody like, Bayley or Nia Jax for that matter. With the Royal Rumble coming up on the 29th, we found out that there's a new booking for Brock Lesnar and Bill Goldberg for January 23rd, which happens to be the 33rd anniversary of Hulk Hogan winning his first WWE title. Those two will be at that show. That's pretty much the go-home show for the Royal Rumble. In the Rumble, this week on Raw, we got to hear The Undertaker officially insert himself into the match, making it very clear that he's not a Raw or a SmackDown superstar. It'll be interesting to see how he uses his championship opportunity should he win the Royal Rumble. Obviously, like we said earlier, Shawn Michaels resisting going in. There was some rumors earlier in the week that Ric Flair may want to make an entrance to the Royal Rumble, and I'll never say never with him, because that guy, as he said on his own Twitter feed, he's never going to retire. But the Royal Rumble betting odds have been released. The Undertaker, the odds-on favorite with the 7-4 betting odds. If you look at all the other people that they listed on the early betting sheet, Chris Jericho, Randy Orton, Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, all those are between 5-1, 6-1, 7-1, 8-1. Their odds nowhere near what The Undertaker's is, so it looks like if the bookers have any idea what's really going on, The Undertaker may be going over in the Royal Rumble. As far as other betting odds that I found interesting, there are odds on Shawn Michaels, Shinsuke Nakamura, Samoa Joe, Kenny Omega, and even a female wrestler entering the Royal Rumble. Now, as I said, Kenny Omega is not coming into the Rumble. It's the safest bet you can make of all of them, but it's interesting to see Michaels' name still up there and Omega's name still up there, despite the contractual or retirement angles for the different competitors. There's also a bet on whether Kenny Omega will make an appearance of any kind. I could see him doing one of those at the ringside kind of deals, which would fulfill the bet, but I don't see him making an appearance because of his contract. It's not going to be up until 2 days later. There's another bet up for the most eliminations. Brock Lesnar, the odds-on favorite with 9-2 betting odds. Everybody else, relatively even odds. Braun Strowman, Baron Corbin, Goldberg. Even Roman Reigns is listed as a most eliminations person who's not even in the match. Assuming he doesn't win the world title, it might be one of those things where we could see him inserting himself into the match after losing his world title opportunity. I did like seeing on SmackDown the continuing feud between Dolph Ziggler and Apollo Crews. Dolph Ziggler losing clean to Sin Cara. I can't get that guy out of my head. But losing again to Mr. Lucha. What a waste of talent Dolph Ziggler has become. But I like the feud with Apollo Crews. It's something that's fresh, it's new, it's something we can all look forward to seeing Apollo Crews do something of any kind of importance, something we haven't seen since last summer. We really don't need to see Dolph Ziggler spending any more time with these 205 Live competitors. It's just not something we need to see. So putting him in there with somebody of some size, like Apollo Crews, much better suited for his skill set. We got to see American Alpha come out and cut the first time since they came up to the SmackDown roster. I haven't heard an interview or a promo from them that meant anything. This week, solid promo skills, good promo about the Wyatt family. I actually started to buy into the American Alpha. And then the Wyatt family gets to challenge them for the tag titles, again losing because of this miscommunication between, Randy Orton and outside interference where he continually seems to be knocking heads with somebody. And at the end of the day, we got to see a little bit of scuffle between Bray and the rest of the Wyatt family, and seeing Bray walk off and leaving everybody in the ring. That's something to keep an eye on. We are hoping that sometime in 2017 we get to see Bray Wyatt make a face turn. This could be the opportunity to make that happen. And the other thing coming out of SmackDown is the John Cena-Baron Corbin match. Baron Corbin looked good in this matchup. He looked like he belonged in the ring with John Cena, and he did the clean win at the end for Cena. Right now, you're building this huge main event at the Royal Rumble between Cena and AJ Styles. You needed to have a nice win for John Cena to make him be a legitimate character heading into that match. I know some people like to see new blood. I know they want to see the right guy go over, but at the end of the day, John Cena is going to be your main event at the Royal Rumble, and he needed to get the clean win here to make his match at the Rumble seem more valid. So, great show on SmackDown. To close out the show this week, a little bit of sad news, 2 tidbits of sad news, to be perfectly honest with you. Drax Shadow, the young boy who was suffering from cancer and whose favorite wrestler was Cody Rhodes, was signed to a one-day honorary contract by WWE last year. Unfortunately, passed away today. It's very sad. We send our most sincere condolences to his family and his friends. We wish them nothing but, peace and calmness in this time of challenge. And also in the wrestling fraternity, Timothy Smith, better known to most WWE fans as Timothy Well of the team Well Done, he also passed away at the age of 55 from kidney failure. So our prayers and our blessings go out to the Timothy Well family. That's all the time we have for this episode, but check back with us in episode 5 where we cover all the happenings in the world of wrestling and keep you posted on all the behind-the-scenes information. Special thanks go out to bensound.com and purpleplanet.com for producing all the music and sound effects we used throughout today's show. Today's podcast was sponsored in part by Beazle Games. Bringing a new friend to a family game night is easy with sketchy people. Showcase your artistic side with this new game from Beazle Games and bring some fun and excitement back to the family game night. Go to www.thegamecrafter.com/sketchypeople to pick up your copy today. To the U.S. News & World Report, Best Colleges 2007, available at Amazon.com and Barnes & Noble now. To AlleyRepair.com, contact Alley Repair today for servicing all of your classic skee-ball, pinball, and arcade needs. To A&B Education of Lansdale, bringing intercultural education to talented students from around the world. We want to thank you for listening to today's podcast, and we encourage you to go to our website at www.frolifeplanning.com to learn more about what Mr. Fro can do for you. Remember, Fro Life Education and Planning is for today, for tomorrow, and for life with Fro Life. I'm Fred Froelich, better known as Mr. Fro, and I want to thank you for taking a few moments with us today, and we look forward to discussing more current events and rumors with the next show. So long, everybody.